welcome everyone to the 2020 Mary Kay Good Grade 1 orientation. We're very excited to have everyone joining us this evening. This isn't obviously our typical way to do this. We are missing meeting our new families and our new friends that'll be joining us at Mary Kay Good. We have a panel joining us tonight, which I will introduce. We have Kelly Santos, our school nurse.
Hi.
We have Kim Redlawn, our special education coordinator. We have Colleen Randall, one of our grade 1 teachers. And we have Dottie Donegan, one of our first grade teachers. We have other teachers also on. They're kind of behind the scenes. So I'm going to show you a quick video so the teachers can actually introduce themselves to you. So I don't know what happened with our sound. We're figuring this out. This is our first time using it. So I'm Lisa Grimes, and I'm the principal at Mary Kay Good. We currently don't have an AP, assistant principal. We're in the process of hiring a new assistant principal, so that's why we don't have one here tonight. Mr. Phoenix was our assistant principal, but he's heading back to, as I call it, the love of his life, to the gym. He'll be the one of the physical education teachers at Brooklyn next year. So we look forward to, having new members of our team. So now I'm going to share the PowerPoint with you, and we can go over all of the ins and outs of Mary Kay Good. Okay. So here is our office staff, as well as any contacts that you may need. As I said, I'm Ms. Grimes, the principal. If you have any further questions after this, certainly please feel free to email me. Mrs. Sullivan is our secretary, and there is her email as well. Nurse Santos's email, Kimberly Redlawn's email. Mrs. Redlawn will be working with grades 1 and 2. Laura Mansfield will be joining us, and she will be in grades 3 through 5. If any questions, if you have any siblings, she will be working with our grades 3 through 5 in the area of special education next year. Brittany Silver is our school adjustment counselor, and Jennifer Rusher is our school psychologist. Please feel free to reach out to anyone if you have any questions or concerns over the summer. We do check our emails over the summer, and it is the best way to get in touch with us should you have any further questions. If you have any central registration questions, if you are new to Middleborough and you're needing to register, please contact Mrs. Katie Goodine. Here's her email and her cell phone information. Her cell phone information, as well as her direct line. With everything that is going on, it's much easier to reach her on her cell phone at this time. Her office is located in the Brooklyn School. If you have a change of address during this time, also please let Mrs. Goodine know, so we can make sure that all of the information is as accurate and up to date as possible. Also, emails, very, very important. We'll be sharing information over the summer. So it's very, very important to update Mrs. Goodine with any email changes that may happen over the summer. When you are registering or you are having a change of address, proof of residency documents are very, very important. In that you need to provide either a mortgage or a lease statement dated within the last 60 days. Tenants at will can document recent payment in writing with landlord's signature and date. This needs to be notarized. A utility bill, which would need to be your most recent, with the address that matches the mortgage or lease. and a driver's license or state-issued ID with the address that matches the address that you are providing. Health records, and I know we have Mrs. Santos here to answer any other further questions for our health-related issues. But documentation, if you do have any updated immunizations over the summer, if you could get those to us, that would be great at the start of school. Any students that have any medical concerns or health conditions, allergies, asthma, diabetes, seizure disorders, or any healthcare needs that we may need to be aware of, please contact Mrs. Santos. If your child does require medication at school, you do need a doctor's order dated after June 30th. We can't use the orders from last year. They need to be updated. An authorized for medication administration form, a care plan with a picture of your child, meaning how and when it will be administered, and the medication must be brought in by an adult. We cannot take, and we ask that you please do not send any medication in school with your child. We have some healthy hints. Now, again, protocols regarding illness may change. We're waiting to hear from departments of health and from the state and our local Department of Health, along with the guidelines that will be coming from the Department of Ed on any changes of protocols. For right now, this is where we are. So as updates come, I'm going to be sending those out over the summer. But you must be home fever-free for 24 hours without medication. Home for 24 hours after the last episode of vomiting or diarrhea, 24 hours of an antibiotic when diagnosed with a contagious condition, and we always practice our coughing and sneezing etiquette. And we also encourage healthy snacks. We do have snack time in all of our classrooms, and we do have a health and wellness policy that we adhere to. We don't allow sharing of food, and we are not a peanut-free school. We are a peanut-aware school, meaning children that if your child is placed in a classroom that has a peanut allergy, you will be notified of that. We don't say no peanuts. Our teachers, our nurse trains our teachers on how to work with our families that do need peanut-free environments. A very, very important resource that we have is our Family Resource Center. The Family Resource Center offers families of Middleborough lots and lots of supports and assistance. And I do, especially in the times that we're in right now, we're looking for a lot of different answers in a lot of different venues. I encourage people to reach out. We help with nutrition and clothing, employment, health insurance questions, emotional and behavioral health services, childcare, extracurricular programming, tutors, school transition, social skills groups, support groups, parenting workshops, housing, and transportation. Our family resource information. Meg Cork is our director, and here is her email and her phone. We're really not in the building at this point, so if you do have any questions, she is checking her email. So feel free to send her an email, and she'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. So grade 1, which is where everyone is interested right now, coming into Mary Kay Good, we have an amazing first grade team with 5 grade 1 classrooms, 1 special education teacher. Right now, it was Mrs. DeFalco. She is retiring, and we wish her well. So we have not hired. We're in the process of hiring our new special education teacher, 1 special education ESP. We also have speech, OT, PT, that's occupational therapy, physical therapy, and adapted phys ed services for students that require those assistances on their IEPs. And we also have Title I reading support for students. Our classroom teachers are Mrs. Donegan, Mrs. Randall, Mrs. Hilton, Mrs. Cook, and Mrs. Burrows. Again, special education, we don't know our teacher yet. Mrs. Larson is our ESP, and our Title I teacher is Mrs. Phillips. So when you arrive in the morning at Mary Kay Good, each student will receive a tag identifying where he or she is going each day. You will receive this tag over the summer. The tag will be labeled with the student's teacher, and on the back, we will be putting the labels on the first day of school where the child goes at the end of the day. And they get checked off. So if you're a bus, we'll put the bus numbers on for your student, so we know at the end of the day where they need to be. Arrival begins at 8:40 for parent drop-off in the front of the building, and instruction begins at 8:50. If you have a change in dismissal, this is important. If you have a change in dismissal throughout the course of the year, we ask that you put it in writing to the office with your child's name, first and last, your child's room number and or teacher's name. You'd be amazed at how many of the same students' names we have, and it can get confusing. So what I'm asking is that you, over the course of the year, if Auntie Sue needs to pick up for some reason, please write us a note and say, today, my child, Lisa Grimes, will be picked up by Sue Smith, and she will be a pickup. That way we'll be able to know exactly where the child needs to go. Now, we know arrival on the first few days can be a little confusing for our new friends. So we have lots and lots of staff available, and they have all the students' names and where they need to be. So they'll enter the building, and they will have their tags, and the tags will have the teachers' names on it, and we kind of deliver them to where they need to be. So we don't have any worry about kids ending up in the wrong place. As long as they have their tags on, and then they'll have their bus tags on their bags, they will know, and we will know exactly where they need to be. And it always amazes me how quickly they learn. It's a big school, but it amazes me every year how quickly our first graders are able to navigate the building. It's amazing to me. Dismissal. At 3:15, we do call for our parent pickup, our champions, our after-school clubs, and anything that, the Y, for instance, those children are then escorted to those destinations. So then at 3:20, the bell will ring for the bus students. Teachers will walk the bus students to the front door. First grade, for the first, about 3 weeks, sometimes a little longer, the teachers will deliver the students to each bus that they need to be on. We begin parent pickup at the same time at 3:20. Pickup is out back. If you know where the outdoor classroom is, you would come in through the Hannafords, across from Hannafords, come in there at 3 o'clock when the gate opens, around the oval, and there's parking spots available. You park, you get out, and you get in line. Please make sure you have an ID when you're picking up your child. We will not let a child go without an ID. Same when you dismiss your child from, if you have a doctor's appointment or someone's picking up your child, we cannot let a child be dismissed without an ID. Until we get to know you, and then obviously once we know who you are, it's different. We can certainly know and identify you. But if we don't know who you are and you're not on our list, we're not sending the child. We would have to call and verify. So that's very, very important. Whoever is picking up your child, please make sure you have an ID with your picture on it. If you change someone that needs to pick up, please make sure you let us know. We understand that families have issues happen in families, and that's okay. If you do have a court order or something should come up in a family, your first call is to school. If there is a change in custody in the morning, if a family needs to go to court and custody changes, we need the first phone call that you make when you walk out of court is to us. We need to know if there was a change and a parent or a family member is not allowed to pick up a child. We need to know that right away, because if that parent gets to school first and we don't know that, they have a right to that child unless we're told that we need to hold the child until we get the court paperwork. So that's very, very important. So what do we do all day, you ask? Well, we do things like reading and writing and phonics. We are part of the Literacy Collaborative, and that it's a systematic approach for literacy, the improvement that brings educators together to continually refine their collective work on behalf of all students. This research-based model builds the capacity of school literacy. It coaches, teacher leaders, administrators, and leadership teams to guide and facilitate ongoing job-embedded professional learning in their schools. Literacy Collaborative Schools and their university partner work together to achieve a common goal that every child grows up literate. And you're saying, that's great, but what does it look like for my child? Well, it looks like things like guided reading, guided writing. We're still looking at how it's going to look next year. We know that things are going to look different. How? We don't know yet. But you can be assured that they are still going to receive the highest level of learning possible. Our teachers are trained. We have great coaches. Matter of fact, Mrs. Randall plays a dual role. She's a literacy coach and a classroom teacher. And she trains our grade 1 and 2 teachers on this model. And it's fantastic in the way that our children really do small group instruction and meeting their needs every day and moving them through learning is quite amazing. They're bookmakers, they're authors, they're readers, and they're writers. And first grade always amazes me. It never fails that I'll, every first grade teacher, but you've got to see what they've done. You've got to see what they're doing. They walk in September, and by that mid-year, it's just absolutely amazing the changes that you see with the reading and the writing in first grade. It's nothing short of a miracle. It really is. It's amazing. The model really allows children to have choice in their writing. It really allows them to have choice in their reading. The interactive read alouds build on vocabulary. It is amazing. Many of us, myself included, grew up on a basal, which is a prescribed program. And this really builds the love of literacy and the love of reading and writing for our children. In math, we have our Envisions math curriculum. That is a basal. And we have a workshop model, meaning small group. Students will go to stations and move around the room. We also have ST Math, which is an online program. And it's a visual instructional program that leverages the brain's innate spatial temporal reasoning ability to solve mathematical problems. And students build deep conceptual understanding. Again, what does that look like in first grade? All I can tell you is it's math without words. It's the best way to put it. You will hear your child talk about Gigi. Gigi is a penguin that ST Math's mascot. And the kids get they move Gigi through levels, and it's game-like, but there is no reading involved, which is evens the playing field, and it really gets kids to think mathematically versus having to have reading get in the way of understanding how numbers work. Our science and social studies. Our science, we use Discovery Education, Discovery Science. It's a great it's an online tech book. In first grade, it's mainly teacher-led. It gets more independent with our kids in the upper grades, but it's mainly teacher-led that the teachers are using the interactive resources. We also use Mystery Science that our PTA supplemental, and we do a lot of hands-on things with both Discovery Ed and with our Mystery Science, a lot of hands-on science and STEAM. Kids like to get dirty, and they like to learn through investigating, and we'd love to create scientists. Science can be messy, we know that. In social studies, we use our Mass State standards and embed it right into our ELA curriculum. So our ELA becomes kind of the all-consuming of our social studies as well. A huge focus for us, and knowing that we're going back to school after not being in school for a long time, we're really looking at our social emotional learning and our social curriculum when we go back. We do have Character Strong with purposeful people. And Character Strong helps us forge meaningful relationships, build positive community, focus on social emotional learning, and develop character. So we have our focus on 10 traits, and the 10 traits are courage, respect, perseverance, gratitude, honesty, kindness, empathy, responsibility, cooperation, and creativity. And each month we'll focus on one of these traits. We also do, with a focus on Character Strong and a focus on our social emotional piece, is our town meeting we have a town meeting. We try to do it once a month. Sometimes things like Christmas break get in the way, but we try to do a town meeting with, and it focuses on our word of the month. We're hoping that we're going to be able to continue. If we can't do our town meeting with everybody together, we're hoping to do it in a classroom setting and rolling out more of our Character Strong into our classrooms. If we're not able to get together as a grade level, to be able to meet as a whole group. To it. It allows us to address our first grade concerns because they're very different than our fifth grade concerns. And it really is the only time that we can come together as a group. The kids get really like that because they're able to come together, all of them. And it's kind of a cool thing to see them all together where it's not, they come together at lunch, but this is kind of a nice way to talk about the things that are going on at each grade level. Two very important things: lunch and recess. First grade, that's important. We for questions about your lunch account, you can certainly reach out to Rebecca Bagnell. We have as the MEC does, we have our 4-digit PIN system. Money can be added to accounts via online or sending money with students. We have 3 lunch monitors. Lunch is 30 minutes and recess is 20 minutes. And each grade level sets their recess expectations. Obviously, our expectation for first grade and what they do at recess is a little bit different than what fifth grade looks like. So each group of teachers at each grade level works together to create those sets of expectations. And those are, definitely, the kids really have a really understanding of what is expected on the playground. Again, with not knowing what September is going to look like, we're hoping we're going to be able to get out there in some capacity to be able to have that socialization. I'm a huge proponent of recess. I think kids need to have that downtime. Kids need to have that kind of just the time to let your hair down kind of thing. So I'm really hoping that we can figure out a way to be able to do that for our kiddos. Our Unified Arts, each class will have a set schedule for Unified Arts. Your teachers will be sending home schedules and information at the start of the school year on which day you have which, we call them specials. They're each 45-minute periods. Our Unified Art teachers are Mr. Steinberg for computers, Mrs. Newell for art, Miss Fantasia for music, Mr. Montgomery for music, Mrs. Young for physical education, and Mrs. McLaughlin for physical education. And when the music and the phys ed, they'll have one or the other, obviously. Oh, very important, our school store. So all students have the ability to earn tickets. We have a ticket system. And then kids are able to earn tickets for demonstrating being respectful, responsible, and ready as a member of Mary Kay Good. Tickets are used to trade in items at the MKG school store. And the store is open once a month. And our PTA is very generous and is able to buy some fun and cool things at our school store. And kids get really excited about earning tickets and being able to spend them at the school store. So you may hear or you may see some tickets floating around. Those are tickets that our kids have earned for showing responsible, respectful, and ready behavior. Speaking of our PTA, I'll tell you, I know I'm a little bit biased, but we have an amazing, amazing PTA. I don't have enough words, positive words to say. I very rarely get told no, which is impressive, I have to say. There's monthly meetings for fundraising. They provide our enrichments. They provide our family fun nights, field trips. They pay for our scholastic news, our mystery science. Due to the pandemic, we have not been able to have our elections for our new board. So that will be happening probably when we get back to school or we're able to do some, face-to-face. But I do encourage you to be part of our MKG PTA. They really are an amazing, amazing group that, really, really, really care about our kids. And I always say you guys get to do all the fun stuff. I don't know if we'll be able to do field trips this year, so I've been talking with them about some other fun things that we may be able to do in the situation that we're in at this point. So some important dates for you, just so you know, the calendar is on the Middleborough Public Schools website, but that is going to be changing due to the high school changes in the high school and when it's going to be ready. The school calendar may be changing, so I would be kind of watching out for that. That may be coming out as an update. Your bus tag should be in the mail probably mid-August. Your bus routes are posted online and they're on the district website. Same kind of time frame around August. Emails will be sent during the summer with any updates on the school schedule and plans for September. I just received your, I had to wait to get the MEC emails from the MKG students that will be ours in September. So now I have them. So now you'll all be added to what I send out. I send out an MKG messenger. It's the newsletter. And I send those out during the school year. I do send those out on Fridays. I send them out at 4:00 on Fridays that way all the information for the following week. During this time, they've been a little bit, unfortunately, I've tried to keep them to Fridays, but with the ever-changing world that we're living in, they've gone out a little bit wonky at some point, sometimes on a Monday, sometimes on a Sunday, just because if I have important information, I want to make sure it gets out to families in a timely fashion. So welcome. I'm excited to have everyone. This is kind of a bittersweet because we get to have our new kids at MKG and we get to see them. I get to read them their first story. I don't get to do that. I have to wait until September. But I'm going to try to beat all the teachers to still be their first read aloud at Mary Kay Good, because I always get to I do the first one and the last one in 5th grade. So I was a little disappointed that I can't do it, but you never know. I may figure out a way to still get their first read aloud to them, because I want to do that for them. So I do have the panel, and the panel is here. If anyone has any questions, we will be more than happy. If you have any questions or anything that you feel we can answer, ask away. You can I think, Sean, you can type them in. And we have the video fixed of the teacher. So I'm going to do that. We'll do the video.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Donegan. I look forward to meeting you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Randall. I'm a 1st grade teacher at the Mary Kay Good School.
Hi, I'm Alexis Burrows. I'm one of the 1st grade teachers here at the Mary Kay Good School, and I'm so excited to meet your child this academic year.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Hilton. I look forward to meeting you and your children, and I'm excited to work with the 1st graders in the fall.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Cook, and I'm a 1st grade teacher at MKG. We have a lot of fun in 1st grade. I'm looking forward to meeting you and your families and for all the learning, exploring, and reading that we're going to do together.
So that's them. We do have a question. Do the 1st graders have recess with the 5th grade children? No, they do not. The 1st grade have recess on their own on the side of the building. It's at a completely different time. 5th grade. There's an overlap with 2 grade levels, but it is not 1st and 5th. They are completely separate. So thank you for that question. If there's any other questions. I know I talked really fast, so. What is the approximate class size for 1st grade? Right now, we're looking at an average about 22 to 23. That's average. Thank you, Mr. Siciliano, for putting that up. Are there any, a question was asked, are there any paraprofessionals in the classroom? No, there are not. In all classrooms, we have one ESP that works with our special education children, but we do not have a teacher aide or a paraprofessional, or we call them ESPs, in every first grade classroom. No. Okay. Oh, at this point, will there be an opportunity for students to visit the school prior to the first day of school? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that. We're waiting, obviously, from the direction from the state. We usually do a walkthrough in August, but I don't know what that will look like. Again, that's something that we're all kind of waiting to hear, and that's something that will be sent out once we have what parameters we're working under in the fall. Do you allow parent volunteers in the classroom? We do, and we do. We're, again, that falls under the, we have to wait and see what that's going to look like in September, if that is going to be something that what the state recommendation is. But many of our teachers, we do leave it up to a teacher discretion, but many of our teachers do have parent volunteers, or sometimes we use them in the copy room for making copies or making books for our students, or lots of different parent volunteers are awesome because they really help us do a lot of things at our school. When can we find out teachers for our first graders? You will get that in your the information will be like everyone on the last day of school. You are going to be receiving information on how to access your Aspen portal, just like you did your report cards for term 2. You'll be able to log into Aspen to your child's portal, and it will have your child's teacher for next year listed there. Are there any suggestions or recommendations for summer work to prepare for the next year, having lost some time in this current school year? Yes. Read, 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 and read. Right, Mrs. Randall and Mrs. Stronigan? Read.
And right.
And read and write. Yes. Just, reading is awesome. Read, not only having your child read, but reading to your child is so important. Children pick up on vocabulary. They pick up on cadence of how you read to them. I always say to families, one of the best places to learn and for kids to learn, and unfortunately we're in this environment, but is the grocery store. They can learn how to read. They can learn math. They have colors. They have lots of things. So when you're in the grocery store, have them get the 3 apples and count them out. Things like that around the house, practicing numbering, labeling, practicing different vocabulary. All of the stuff at home that you can do is awesome. That is definitely helps with getting our kids ready to come back in September. What are some of the supplies our first graders may need that we can collect over the summer? We're hoping to put together, we're waiting to see what the requirements are going to be coming back. You'll be receiving a letter probably in August about supplies. I know parents do like to, when things go on sale, which we're not even out of school yet, and I think that the welcome back to school sales will be next week. But always pencils and crayons are always good. Glue sticks are always good. But we're not sure of what it's going to look like for September. So if those things are always essentials, but if you can wait for our letter to go out in August. So if we don't have any other questions, I know there's a delay. Sean warned me Mr. Siciliano warned me of the delay, so I don't want to cut anyone off that has a question. Please feel free. Like I said, we're all available throughout the summer via email. I will be in and out of the building. We don't know what the requirements are for us to be in the building yet, but certainly feel free to email with any questions or concerns. Same with Mrs. Santos if you have a health question, or Mrs. Redlawn if you have a specific question for special education. Please certainly reach out. We will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. We welcome all of our new friends that are going to be joining us at Mary Kay Good. It's a big building and they have a long walk to the gym, but it's amazing how quick they pick it up. Will the students participate in any concerts? Well, we have a first grade play, but again, I feel like everything is, but we don't know. We're hoping that's in the spring. So we're hoping that by the time the spring rolls around that we'll be able to do that. But first grade, they do have a first grade play. So that's always fun. I'll say that. That's always a treat. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for the informational video. You're welcome. We had to, just behind the scenes, we had to shoot the beginning over again. So because we lost Mr. Phoenix this year, so we had to redo that. So we're excited to have everyone. And, I know families, and I wish I could put you at ease a little bit more about coming back. We'll have more when the commissioner and the Department of Education make their decisions and what it will look like in September. We're really excited to have you. We look forward to actually seeing you in person and meeting you. Some of you are already family. You have children with us. I always like to ask that. How many of you already have kids with us? You're already family members, and we do welcome all of our new families as part of what we do. I realize I've been there 5 years now, and every day, and even through this whole time of this pandemic, I've never been more impressed with the group of teachers that I get the pleasure of working with every day. You are very, very, very lucky to have this group and sending your child to Mary Kay Good and having, this group of teachers. And every day I go to work and I'm in awe of what they do. And especially, during this time, and the care and the love and the support that they've put into every single child that's in their classroom has been second to none. I'm quite impressed, and I hope we don't have to do it again. But if we do have to do something, I will let you know that this is an amazing team, and your children are in the best hands possible. They really are. So I thank you for joining us, and again, please feel free if anything should come up or any questions, give us a email or a call, or we'll be available for you. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything they want to add or anything? Thank you for the video. Another one, closer when all things. Yep, that's kind of the plan, is to maybe doing something if things are getting closer. Do all of the kids in the school eat lunch all together? Do they have recess together? Do all grades separated? Sorry, missed the question. No worries. They eat by grade level. Again, not knowing what it'll look like, but they do eat by grade level. So all of grade 1 eats together. All of grade 1 has recess together. We don't mix. So they don't eat with first or second or third. Nope. It's all of first grade together at lunch, all of first grade together at specials, all of first grade together at recess. Every time I think I'm done, there's a question, and I don't want to leave anyone out, so I'm trying to wait. Well, thank you all for joining us, and I will be available over the summer for email. So thank you, everybody.